Hello, Virgo. Thank you for tuning in. This is for your love read. For the main read, I'm using the Morgan Greer Tarot by Paul Foster Case and Arthur Edward Waite. And for the supportive cards, the Romance Angel cards by Doreen Virtue. First half is for relationship. Second half is for singles. Let's see how this goes. The last spot seems a little interesting. Only because it was kind of weird feeling how I was putting down the cards. I think we're going to do some... Alright, this one card popped out, so I'm going to let that be out there, but I wonder if that's the only one. I guess that's the only one we want out. Alright, so I guess this is kind of just cinching in the reasons. Okay, now, what is happening right now? On your partner's side, it's interesting because this card's more in what's holding back, and this card's more in what's helping or moving things forward into a better direction. And they're kind of like overlapped like this, just slightly. So I feel like they're moving from like keeping on the same path. I feel like they're staying on the same path, but it's the communication that's the problem. Like they're still going the steady route, which is something usually Virgo likes. But the communication is lacking in the beginning. Or that's what's holding things back. Like I don't feel like they're talking or telling you what they're doing or that they're on track. Because I feel like you might be wondering. But what helps is just them kind of staying on that same track but communicating better. Because I feel like they're not communicating what's going on. That seems to be the main problem here. Now, what's holding you back is you're thinking the passion is gone on their side. Alright, so this makes more sense. You're thinking they're not as in love with you as usual, or as they were. You're feeling like some of the spark is gone. And you're considering, maybe it's time to go. I'm like, if you don't love me, why am I here? I don't see this actually happening. This is just in your thoughts. And you're wondering, like, do you even love me? Like, there's a communication breakdown for some reason. And the word stress comes in. So I don't feel like there's I don't know why things are going the way they're going on their side, especially with the general relationship read. But I feel like they're kind of just taking things for granted, like you're just gonna understand, or it doesn't matter enough. It doesn't it's not important enough to communicate about, something along those lines. Due to stress and whatever's going on, they might feel just run down. If you're in the northern hemisphere, maybe they have like a summer cold is what I'm trying to say. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it might be just having a cold, because I believe you're going towards winter now in the southern hemisphere. Still, I'm feeling like there's a rundown feeling. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. I'm still feeling kind of this rundown, stressed out. It could be but the stress is like weakening them, so that him or her, whoever, so that they're not feeling their best. And I feel like they're just taking for granted that you're going to be on point with them, and it doesn't really matter. And they're just kind of like slacking on the communication for right now. Okay. I feel like this is short-lived, which is good, because I feel like the communication starts coming and they start telling you what's going on. It's good though. You might have I feel like there might be like a little off-color comment on your side, like, does it even matter that I'm here? I mean, you don't tell me anything anyway. Something weird like that, something a little passive-aggressive, a little more direct, just kind of comes off like matter-of-factly. And I feel like this kind of spars your partner to say, well, what do you mean by that? And then they tell you what's going on. Like, I feel like it's just a temporary miscommunication. I'm saying that mostly because you get the Nine of Cups with... Nine of Cups is your side, Page of Rods is their side. Because I feel like this goes back in order. Like, things are a lot better than you think. It's just the communication that's a problem. And you feel a lot better being in the know. On the other side, with the Page of Rods, I feel like they're looking at what they've been doing and saying and not saying, and they're like trying to they're kind of like, wait a minute, how did this get to this point? Like, you're completely happy and fine now, but I don't feel like they were seeing it. I don't feel like they realized that you weren't happy, like, or there was a communication problem, or they just weren't registering that there was a problem, I feel. I don't feel like this is that bad, though. They're just kind of like, oh. And they're just kind of replaying it like, well, I guess I didn't say this or that. And then they're just kind of, oh, okay. So I feel this is good. This is also leading into the next spot, which is interesting. Because I feel like they become very affectionate. You have the King of Cups. And it's almost like this momentary bump. Like, they're like, oh, okay, wait a minute. Well, then I feel like there's some grand gesture. I really feel like there's some grand gesture. And it's interesting. Because on your side, now you're the Four of Pentacles, which is kind of holding back. You're just kind of like, well, I mean, I said what I said, but I didn't mean, like, okay. I feel like you're, like, just taken aback at this. You're just like, oh. It's not bad. I just feel like it kind of stops you in your tracks, and it might be more of a you don't know how to react, because you didn't, like, it's some type of grand gesture, like, let's go on a weekend getaway, just you and me, or here's, like, some, like, piece of jewelry that means a lot to you, or let's renew our vows, or something, or like an engagement if you're not married, or something. Like, it's like a jump. It's like they're making sure, like, you know how they feel. And you're just kind of a little like, oh. I feel like you're just kind of stunned. It's not like it's bad. I just feel like you're stunned. Like, I didn't see that coming. Whatever it is. And it's not bad. But you're just kind of like, I don't feel like you rebuke it. Just so you're stunned. I feel like you're stunned. If something comes your way and they're just like, hey. And you're just like, okay. Still happy on your side, though. Still happy. I am noticing you got a card here on your spiritual spot. The King of Swords in your spiritual spot, it makes me feel like you're working on communication. I'm also kind of, to be honest with you, feeling like there might be things on your side with communication that need to be worked out a little bit too. I feel like there might be... I think you might have more to do with this pattern than it seems. Like, when they weren't communicating, I feel like maybe you weren't asking questions. And being in a partnership, you might have been able to get in there with questions a little sooner before you started to feel a little less than appreciated. And I think when the grand love comes your way, whatever the gesture is, like, you're stunned, and I feel like you don't know what to say there. So I feel like the king is kind of saying you can have more control, you can make this relationship a lot smoother by having more control of the communication on your side, like just owning that a little more and pushing it a little sooner, or a little more, like having a little more control with it. The king on your side in the spiritual sense, I believe this is saying you can have more of an influence in the communication department, especially if it's not going exactly the way you'd like right now. You can set it up to go a different way. You can take more control of that. That's probably a good idea for you. Now, what's below it is the question. Especially since this is in the spiritual, I feel like this is where this is like, you want answers and how to make this not happen again. That's the Hermit saying, like, think about ways to make this easier on yourself. Think about what you could own from it. In any situation, I am a firm believer. Even when situations, there's nothing you can do to change them, it gets a lot better when you just own it. Even though there's things way out of your control, if you own it, you can change it, if that makes sense. So if you don't like it, which I don't think you do. If this is hitting for you, I don't think you like it. Because if I was in your position, I don't think I'd care for it either. Own it and just change it. Start the communication sooner. When you notice things like you notice feeling like you're kind of on the outs or like you're not getting that response from your partner, start the communication. Right in the beginning. Just nice communication. Get the ball rolling on your own type thing. Don't wait for them to tell you what's happening. Try to find out. And I feel like I'm already getting, like, some of you do get out there. It may be the way you say it. Like, I can think of, I'm not going to say who, somebody in my life who comes at me with questions. The way they come at me, it's just kind of like puts me on the defensive, and I shut the door. Let's just put it that way. So you might want to also think about how you're communicating. You want to make an easy communication, one that they don't have to feel like they're going to tell you something and then they have to defend it. Okay. And I would just watch your own communication style with you and your partner. How are you communicating? Like, how does your partner usually react? Do they usually get defensive? Do they feel like they have to validate what they're doing? Or do they put you on that defensive? Do you feel that way from them? Like, what's the camaraderie? This is all about you having control to make it what you want. So I'm not saying really anything's going wrong with the way you communicate, but there can be some changes to get more benefit from it to where it's not lacking, or you're not waiting for somebody to tell you what's going on. You're in there more actively digging it up when you want to know. I hope that came across right. Because it's just about you having control and getting what you want based on the control. And I'm not saying you have to control every conversation. Just like when something comes forward and you feel like you want to know more, find ways to get that conversation started. Okay. Hopefully, I really hope that came across right. I don't want to be too preachy. Especially when these are things I've done in my own life, so I'm not any better. It's just kind of flowing through that way, so hope it doesn't come across that way. What's going on with this? King of Pentacles. They're warning that, I feel like this is a warning that you're kind of stuck in a certain way of doing things, which is not bad when things are going the way you want them to. The trick is with this, keeping what you want, and when something isn't working right, like I feel like coming back to the communication, like you're very dedicated to sticking with a pattern, which is great when things are going the way you want them to. I feel like they're also saying slow changes with the communication. That's what we're kind of denoting here. Like, think about what you want to work differently and slowly, gradually, like try different methods, things that make you feel comfortable, more empowered, no matter who you are. But they're saying slow changes, just here and there. Not jump both feet in, big change, not that at all. Slow changes. Because I feel like if you did try to do big changes, like that would shock your partner. Because I feel like it would be out of character for you. So, for like the normal baseline Virgo energy, I feel like it's very dedicated. And usually, I feel like in the way this is going, it's saying make gradual changes, try different things, what makes you feel good. I think it's also saying too that it's not going to change overnight. I don't think you're expected to. It's just like a heads up. You want things to go a little better. Start toying with the thought. Slow, gradual changes. Even the littlest of change can set you in a different direction to make things a lot easier for you in the long run. I've seen other couples with a lot of earth going on, and they can go for years in very good patterns, but when something goes the wrong way, they're just as dedicated to the wrong way, and it can be years, but it can be a slow burn to a slow crash and burn, I should say, if that makes any sense. Their side is, I feel like they're looking at the situation too. So you're evaluating, but be aware that they are too, because this means a lot to them. They do love you. They do. So the situation means a lot to them too. They're trying to think it through and see like what happened, what's going on, what should they do differently. So I feel like they're also evaluating. You might want to even talk about this together. You know what I mean? You might want to both like be on the same page. There's no reason you can't hash it out and see what each of you think. Why not? Because I feel like the other side is conducive with that. I have to say, this looks pretty good because in the end, the last set of cards, I should say, that comes out is Judgment in your favor, and then you get the Page of Pentacles, which I feel like you're making these slow changes. I feel like your partner's communicating better too. So I feel like things are already, just due to this situation, things are better. But you deciding that you're going to change how you handle these things and not just wait for certain information to come your way, it makes things a lot easier for you and your partner. Because I feel like the Page of Pentacles for you, I feel like these slow changes, especially he's a messenger, he, she, could be she. This person is usually denoted as a messenger, and then the Pentacles, but I feel like for you, it's a slow communication change. Judgment in your favor, slow communication changes. Okay. All right, we're good with that. Put that away. Now let's do Virgo singles. Wow, I went on for a while about that, didn't I? Virgo singles. Virgo singles. Alright. I want to put out another card, but you tell me no. This is telling me, well, yes. You have some interesting things here, single Virgo. Interesting things here for sure. My first thing I'm noticing is that what's actually happening seems pretty good. I'm also noticing maybe you don't feel that way about it, which is interesting. Okay. Now let's read what we got here and go from there. I think we might have figured out why. Okay, so single Virgo. You've had this stability before of a very strong relationship. I feel like for most of you who this is touching base for, there's something in the past that you want to bring into the future, and it's the way it was with somebody else. Is it someone else? No. Alright, so hold on. There's somebody you have history with. That fits better. This isn't somebody new to your life. This is somebody you know. Somebody you get along with, have gotten along with great in the past. May or may not have tried a relationship in the past, but for whatever reason it was short-lived. Okay, this is where we're starting. Now, this is the next part of the past. This is the more recent past. You've had some partial success. The reason I say that is because you have the Six of Rods with the Four of Pentacles. I feel like this is partial success. Things have been going your direction, but you didn't get as far as you wanted to. Whatever that might mean for you. It just didn't go as far as you'd like it to. Things were, you saw a lot of green lights, but there were a few red lights too. So you're like progressing, and it just didn't go as far as you wanted to. But it kind of has this not yet feel. I feel like there's been some work. But you're holding back or they're holding back, one of the two. I'm feeling like for the most case, it's like one of you holds back, the other one holds back. Like I feel like it's kind of a balancing of like conservatism. I'm just gonna make up words. I think that's a word actually, but whatever. I feel like one of you holds back, the other one kind of counteracts by holding back, and it's kind of like how it goes. Now, I'm getting internal. This is where you're standing. 5 of Rods. So I feel like you're kind of in an emotional battle with yourself. So you're kind of torn. Is this going somewhere? Is it not? Is this a good idea? Is this a mistake? Does this person really like me? Is it just not enough to go anywhere? Is it enough to go somewhere? Is it, as time goes on, will it become more? I feel like you're like, should I? Shouldn't I? Yes? No? Like, I feel like you're almost like, you might be emotionally beating yourself up, actually, the way I'm looking at this. Like, yes, no. You're worried that this could end up in ruin. Now, the 5 of Pentacles is like consoling someone. You're worried, though. I feel like this isn't going to work out. You're really nervous about ending up ruining a friendship or ruining what you already have with this person by trying to make it more. I feel like this internal conflict is transferring, like, this is where you're standing, but your thoughts are like, you're feeling like they might not really care enough to go that far, and you're kind of upset about it. You might have like a, am I good enough type feel going on there. I feel like you're just kind of like, you're not, I feel like the confidence isn't there. The confidence level isn't there at the moment for some reason or other. And that's where your thoughts are. Now, Virgo being an earth sign, what I'm seeing in the environment, which we'll go to next, I got a lot of earth going on there too, which I want to say this, don't get caught up in thinking it's definitely an earth sign we're talking about if this is hitting for you. It's someone who has these qualities. Because I feel like people get caught up in like it actually being this sign, and I don't think that's a good idea, personally. It's somebody who emulates these qualities. And I'm seeing somebody who's got a lot going on for them. They're very well established. They're doing very well. I feel like financially, for the most part, granted it's a general read, blah, blah, blah. But they're established. They're stable. They're stable. That's what we want to go for here. But yeah, free yourself, forgiving and learning, and the Queen of Pentacles. This is all the environment. So, when I'm seeing the Queen of Pentacles here, I feel like this is somebody who's has a very strong emotional side, but very dedicated and moves very carefully. I don't feel like this is somebody who rushes in. They move, they're a slow build, I would say, for the most part. They're just, they want to take the conservative route. Now keep in mind, this is a general read, so sometimes the Queen of Pentacles is talking about somebody who's kind of had a rough time of it, sometimes, and has learned that jumping in quickly is jumping into a crash and burn situation, and they do not want that. So this person has, at the very least, decided they will go slow to see if this is going to work out. They do not want to get too deep before they feel more confident that things are going to go in a good direction. They're slow. They're like, there's no reason to rush. There's no reason to run. Let's enjoy the moment. Let's see where it goes. Let's not push anything. Let's not, run and jump and just get into something. Which I don't think is bad for Virgo. I think it's just the question, like, how much is this person into you? That's the question. And as I always say, don't get caught up in the gender of the card. It's just denoting someone who's moving cautiously but very passionate. They have a lot of emotion backing up how they feel. They could be having a lot of emotion backed up too. I fear the way that came out might be too true for the situation, in the sense of like they might be working through some things and they're just taking their time and sorting things out. Especially with the free yourself and the forgiving and learning, I feel like they've made mistakes in the past and they're trying to slow down and make sure they don't repeat mistakes. So that's a lot of insight for what's going on around you with this other person. They're just thinking things through. They don't want to make repeat mistakes. I don't feel like it's, even though they're going slow, I don't feel like it's much about you as about their history and not wanting to do the same thing twice. Twice that didn't work the first time, because if it worked out the first time, they wouldn't be single right now. So I think that's, if you, knowing that, and I don't know if you can get into those conversations, I don't feel like you can really get into these conversations for the most part, but maybe you can with them. Knowing that, I feel like puts this in a lot better perspective for you. Now, I do see things going better in the future. Getting to know each other, I feel like you're very optimistic about this. You're going one foot in front of the other. I feel like you might fall for this person, if you haven't already. If you haven't already, the Fool makes me think like a fool falling in love. That's what it thinks. Like just like not, and it's not denoted good or bad here. But I feel like you're really falling for this person. The more you get to know him, the more you really fall for him. Excuse me, Jeepers Creepers. Your end result here is the Six of Cups with the give your relationship a chance. I feel like you're reviewing your history with each other and you're deciding what way to go. You know what way you want to go. They just have to hash it out for themselves. And I feel like this is, the reason it's ending here is because it's a general read, but I feel like this has to be worked out. How well do you get along? Like, the other person is looking for, like, longevity, like, I feel like they're already looking at you as if they could have that passion and they could have that physical attraction, that physical connection. I don't feel like that's a question for them. What the question is like, how often real disagreements come up? What type of arguments will you have when you do have arguments? If the going gets rough, then what? I feel like they want to work out, like, what type of things would, like, how are you when you're upset? How are they when they're upset? How would you handle each other when the other's upset? Will you be able to support each other, or would you just walk away from the other one? Like, that's what they want to work out. And that's where this memories thing comes in. Like, they want to, like, almost like an audit of, like, how you get along, the two of you get along. And I think it's good to know that they're nervous. I feel like they've been burned in the past. They fell for people, and they might have, like, this person might have quite the temper. And I feel like they might want to explain to you, like, what happens with them when things go out of whack. And they're just seeing if you can handle that, because, like, life is life. Hard times are going to happen. And they want to feel secure, like, you know, if they have a bad moment, it's not going to destroy things. So they want to be up forward about it. But they want to know how you are, too, when bad moments come. They want to make sure they can handle that. There's something about the temper that they want to... Like, I feel like they're going to be very forthcoming about their temper, and they want to know about yours, because I feel like they're very realistic. Like, you know, life happens. There's ups and downs, and when things are down and things are rough, and tempers flare, like, what's that going to be like? Like, can I depend on you to be there, or will you split and run, or is it going to be a situation where I see you freak out and I can't handle that, and then I split and run? Like, they're trying to figure that out. So that's what this is about. That's what this is, like, just going through things, you know. Do you really have a good connection to make it through the hard times? I feel like that's what they want to know. The physical, I feel like they're okay with that. They're just like, they can see that working out. They don't see that being a problem. They just want to work out, like, I feel like they're trying to get more of an emotional security in the sense of, like, when times are rough, how would that, like, they're trying to, like, find out what you're like when times are rough. They want to tell you what they're like when times are rough, things like that. And then based on that, you'll decide whether to go forward or to go back. And who knows, you might even decide, you know what, that's a bit much for me. I don't think I can do this. So you have to get to that point and you have to hash it out for your relationship to decide what you and your partner want to do. All right, so I'm going to leave that there. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, go ahead and shoot me an email, james4astral@gmail.com, james4astral@gmail.com. Thank you.